Only memories last longer. That's the slogan of the Clark Grave Vault Company, manufacturer of the finest grave vaults since 1898. After visiting Clark's state-of-the-art manufacturing facility and seeing the precision and craftsmanship that goes into each and every grave vault, funeral directors often recommend Clark vaults to their customers. The quality of any product begins with the quality of the materials that go into it, and a Clark vault is no different. The processing of all metal we use to make our vaults is done right here at Clark's manufacturing facility. No one else in the industry can make this claim. The prime quality metals used in a Clark vault are brought in by rail and truck, direct from steel mills to our factory. These coils are put into storage, soon to be leveled, and cut to the specific length needed for each vault. The gauge of the metal refers to the thickness of the metal. The smaller the number, the thicker the metal. The sheets are randomly checked to make sure the gauge they've been rolled and the dimensions to which they've been cut measure up to the tolerances that Clark's precision manufacturing process requires. Clark grave vaults are made to the highest standard of precision in the grave vault industry. All Clark vaults consist of two main parts, the base and the dome. The manufacturing process of all Clark grave vaults begins with the creation of the vault base. A 2,400-ton toggle press draws a 39 by 93-inch sheet of metal into the die forming the base, in effect, pressing it into a mold. The base is then pierced to form holes for the fasteners and the casket rests. The edges are trimmed and turned up into a flange to form a smooth, rounded runner, which adds strength and facilitates handling. The base handles are then attached using two welds on each end of the handle. A Clark vault base is 5 3/4 inches tall, which is 40% higher than any other base in the industry. This provides an extra measure of protection when graves are dug unevenly, and the wide, flat corners keep the vault from becoming embedded in the soil. The base handles make for easier handling at the gravesite. The next step is the production of the vault dome. There are two styles of domes, custodian and standard. The exclusive Clark custodian-style vault, an invention of Alan F. Beck in 1932, has a hood made from a single piece of 10-gauge metal. It is still the only one-piece vault in the funeral business. Its hood, sides, and ends are made from a sheet of metal measuring 85 by 120 inches. After a previous operation in which part of the metal is blanked out, this single massive sheet is pressed into the advantageous dome shape through a 4,000-ton hydraulic and spring press. Over 40 feet high, it's the largest in use anywhere in the funeral industry. Within this press, 7 dies work independently to form the crown, sides, and ends of the vault. The sheet is placed over the dies. The end and side dies are lowered onto the blank, holding the sheet in place as the center ram is lowered, exerting 1,500 tons of pressure to form the dome of the vault. Pressure is then exerted on the other 6 dies, forming the sides and ends of the vault. After the ends and sides are formed, the dies are released. And the center ram is lowered, forcing the sides into position. Once the hood is removed from the press, it travels on an overhead conveyor to a large welding fixture. The custodian vault's dome is then double welded. Clark's standard-style dome is made up of 7 pieces: the hood, 2 end panels, and 4 corners. The end panels of the Clark 12-gauge vault are made in 3 operations. First, a 32 by 34-inch sheet of metal is placed over a die that forms and embosses the end. In the second operation, the excess material is trimmed away. Then the flange is formed. The hood of the vault is formed using a 900-ton mechanical-type press. A 12-gauge metal sheet measuring 86 3/16 by 84 1/4 inches is placed over dies that emboss the sides of the vault and form the flange. The pressing of the hood is done in 2 passes, one side at a time. The embossed sheet is then placed in a 750-ton mechanical press, which creates the rounded shape of the hood. It is this rounded dome shape that provides the casket with more moisture protection than any other vault. It is designed to accumulate air pressure, keeping any water away from the casket. This rounded dome also allows the condensation to roll down the sides and away from the casket, unlike flat-top vaults, which allow water to drip down directly onto the casket. Clark's welding system sets the industry standard. Clark uses a robotic welding system for all 12-gauge steel domes, the only one in the industry. The system consists of 2 robots, the same type used with great success in automotive plants worldwide, in combination with state-of-the-art MIG welders. The letters MIG stand for a type of weld called metal inert gas, in which the electric arc generated by the welder is completely enclosed by a curtain of inert argon carbon dioxide gas. This assures a sound weld, free of gas bubbles and with little distortion. This robotic welding system is operated by a 2-person team who position the components of the vault and monitor the welding operation. Every Clark dome is welded on the outside and the inside. The robotic system welds faster, smoother, and stronger than human welders. Robotic welders weld in one continuous motion, providing the most consistent and strongest weld possible, as 100% of the metal penetrates the seam. Once the double welding is completed, the vault is moved into an automatic grinding system where 2 robots remove excess metal from the welding process and smooth the double welded seam. Next, studs are welded where the handles will be attached. This welded bond between the stud and the dome is actually stronger than the metal itself. Attaching the handles to welded studs assures that the vault's body is never pierced, which maintains the vault's structural integrity. At this point, the vault is ready to be tested for air and water tightness. No Clark vault can leave the factory until it passes this stringent test. This test is so foolproof that it allows Clark to back their vaults with a warranty that is second to none among vault manufacturers. Each and every Clark vault is immersed in 6 feet of water. Any vault not free of leaks returns to the welding process, where any problems are corrected. It is this testing process that allows Clark to offer your families outstanding warranty protection. Consider this. Is each and every vault you currently offer tested to assure quality? Clark's are. After each vault has passed this test for air and water tightness, the vault is ready to be finished. All Clark steel vaults receive a uniquely durable powder coating, and some receive the benefits of Clark's outstanding galvanizing process. Prior to being galvanized, the vault dome and base pass through a state-of-the-art, environmentally friendly, 15-minute, 5-stage pre-treatment system. In the first stage, the unit is washed to remove any dirt or debris, followed by a clean water rinse. Next, the units are sprayed with an acid solution to remove any scale around the welds, and then rinsed again with water. The final stage is a spray bath with a liquid flux solution, which further prepares the vault for optimal galvanization. The vault is then dried and preheated prior to being galvanized. The Clark process for galvanizing is, again, exclusive. Clark is the only company in the industry that galvanizes their own vaults. Zinc is the metal of choice for galvanizing because it corrodes much more slowly than steel. Clark's process coats each vault with 3 to 5 ounces per square foot, 25 to 35 pounds per vault, dependent on the gauge of steel used in the vault. This exceeds the benchmark of 2.8 ounces per square foot that the National Bureau of Standards has declared necessary to double the life of metal underground. The vaults are submerged in molten zinc at an average temperature of 850 degrees Fahrenheit. At this temperature, the zinc forms a molecular bond to the steel, forming an alloy which more than doubles the life of the vault. Water is then sprayed inside the vault to cool the surface and facilitate handling. The studs are rethreaded to allow application of the handles and handle plates. Clark vaults now go through a powder coating process. Powder coating is far more durable and ecologically friendly than traditional painted finishes. Clark's powder coating is a flexible yet tough finish that resists chipping during shipping and internment and lasts longer underground than any other painted finish. Prior to powder coating, the dome, base, and handles are exposed to a 20-minute, 5-step wash and surface preparation. First, a 90-second wash in alkaline removes oil and surface dirt, followed by a water rinse. Then, an iron phosphate coating is applied to etch the metal, giving the powder a rough surface on which to adhere. After another water rinse removes excess phosphate, a special chrome-free rinse cleans the surface of contaminants and prevents flash or immediate rusting. The parts are then dried in an oven heated to 250 degrees Fahrenheit and cooled prior to powder application. The powder coating is then applied to the vault surfaces in a special clean room with precision temperature and humidity controls. Such strict control of environmental factors during application is critical as they affect the quality of the coating. Utilizing an electrostatic charge, 18 automatic guns apply the dry coating to each part inside and out. The initial application takes about 4.5 minutes to complete. The powder-coated parts then enter a second, hotter oven to cure the finish. The 40-minute process bonds the powder to the surface metal. After a 20-minute cool-down period, the vault is ready to be assembled and packaged. The spring locks are attached to the base. These locks fasten the base to the hood of the vault. A very important step in the manufacturing process, Clark's warranty, the industry standard, is attached to the base, along with the burial instructions. The handles are attached to the welded-on studs, and the vaults are wrapped in cardboard and placed into inventory awaiting shipment. The sophisticated manufacturing process you've just observed applies to Clark's steel and galvanized vaults only. Now, let's look at the making of our handmade Premium Series vaults. The process may seem low-tech in comparison, but as you'll see, it is every bit as thorough. Clark's top-of-the-line copper and stainless steel vaults are made by the hands of artisans and are assembled one at a time in a separate area of the plant. Because of the nature of the metals used, these vaults require special handling and assembly. The result is the same: grave vaults built with the finest quality craftsmanship in the world. Clark's stainless steel and copper vaults are also double welded to assure durability, and they must pass the same water immersion test as their steel counterparts. Stainless steel vaults have brushed accent panels and are painted one of several colors. Copper vaults are polished for an astonishing 8 to 12 hours to bring out the beauty of their natural finish. In fact, each copper vault takes a full 36 hours to complete. The handles are attached to the studs and are packaged and prepared for shipment. Whether it's copper, stainless steel, galvanized, or powder-coated, all Clark vaults are delivered to a nationwide network of distribution centers. From each of these strategically located centers, Clark employees deliver the vaults directly to you. As you have seen, a great deal of experience and expertise goes into the making of each and every Clark Grave vault. It's a level of caring born of being a family-owned business since 1898. A level of caring we hope you'll pass on to your families by recommending a Clark Grave Vault for their loved ones. With grave vaults in every price range and special vaults for special circumstances, there is a Clark Vault for every burial need. At Clark Grave Vault, only memories last longer.